We could do these stories every day, and we probably should. These are more stories of black on white, black on old, black on young, black on gay, black on straight, black on Asian, black on kitties, puppies, turtles, goldfish, even raccoons. And how they're wildly out of proportion. Now, if that's all it was just a bunch of black people going around conking people on the head, we would say, well, we already know what to do about that. You put them in jail. You don't surround them with lots and lots and lots of great programs and Rube Goldberg schemes that I've tried a million times, failed a million times. But what we're seeing this summer, what we've been seeing for the last couple of years, is this whole idea of black on white hostility has now gone mainstream. This excusing black on white violence is now mainstream. Now they're trying to gaslight us. That's after that movie Gaslight, where they tried to convince one of the famous actresses in the movie that she was really crazy. She was not noticing all this stuff going on around her house. So why don't we give old D.L. Hughley another look? Why don't we look at just 3 things that came across my email today? I think one of them actually may have happened a little while ago. The first one we're going to see after D.L. Hughley. But these reminders are so important to so many people who are just in such denial, deceit, and delusion. We can't do them enough.
The most dangerous place for black people to live is in white people's imagination. When you look at the fact, honestly, you can have just shot up 17 people, and the police will arrest you. They know you have a gun, but they'll shoot the kid they thought had one. They'll shoot him in the back. And here's the thing, it's just, we live in an America right now where we've evolved. We believe that a man can be a woman trapped in a woman's body, a woman can be a man trapped, but we inherently believe that black people are criminal. We can accept that you are a man trapped in a woman's body, but we don't, for some reason, we can't buy the notion that all black people aren't inherently criminal. And that's, it really, and then we don't, like for every time something happens, they'll say, these dualities can't exist. You can't tell us we live in a country where you're innocent until proven guilty, but then okay you being murdered because he said you were guilty, the cop said you were guilty. They didn't try you.
Before they tried.
Right. And the truth of the matter, America's never, there have been 200 race riots in America, primarily because black people or people of color have been killed by the police with nobody to be brought to account. That was before there was black on black crime. So what was it then? We've been murdered for reading, for looking somebody in the eye, for whistling at somebody. The murder of black people at the hands of people of authority has always happened. And police are doing what they've always done, which is the police for us have never been about protecting this earth. It's keeping you in your community where you belong and keeping you out of places you don't. That's just how it's.
You know, there are some good officers out there, a lot.
Nobody needs to say that, because we already know it.
We know that.
But let me make this distinction. The same officers that patrol communities of wealth aren't the same ones that control communities of color. They're not the same officers.
That is true. That is true.
Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Is they white? Is the white right? Oh, yes! They white, get their ass! Hurry that bitch up! Hey! And they beating up every white person! They jumping every white person! Let no white person come down Sherman! He white! Beat his shit! Bitch! That's what you are! They beating up every white person!
Retired U of M chemistry professor Robert Sharp murdered.
He died as a result of multiple stab wounds, and the manner of death is homicide.
Investigators say this man, Isom Hamilton, is Sharp's killer, in court on Friday for a preliminary hearing.
There were a total of 28 cutting or sharp force injuries. 17 of those were described as incised wounds, and 11 of those were described as stab wounds.
Police discovered Sharp's body in his home in the 3300 block of Alpine in Ann Arbor on June 11th. Craig Lee was one of the first officers on the scene.
When I first walked in, you could see the house was covered in soot throughout, and there would appear to be blood marks on the kitchen floor and on the hallway coming out.
Covered in soot because authorities say 29-year-old Hamilton set a fire in an attempt to burn evidence.
I followed the blood trail down the stairs into the basement, and at the very bottom of the stairs we did find the victim.
Charged with murder, armed robbery, arson, and home invasion, prosecutors say several of the victim's electronic devices were in Hamilton's possession. Meanwhile, Detective Amy Ellinger testified there was dried blood all over the inside of Sharp's home. She described crime scene photos in court.
Showing blood, dried blood, footprints towards the area of the basement stairs to the left.
Police say Hamilton and Sharp were casual acquaintances. Hamilton worked at a Wendy's Sharp would frequent. Sharp retired from U of M in 2008. Hamilton is being held without bond. In Ann Arbor, Camila Mary, Fox.
University of Michigan professor knows one of the fellas down at Wendy's. Maybe the guy cuts his grass. Maybe he does errands around the house. Apparently they knew each other. Whatever that University of Michigan professor thought he was, what he really was just an old dude, a soft target for that black guy in Michigan. We saw what happened to him. The same thing that happened to lots and lots of other people in his situation. How it's so wildly out of proportion. How it's always a black on white thing. It's never a white on black thing. But how mentioning that inconvenient fact makes a lot of black people angry.